Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. And this is a bit of a different video for me because I usually don't do these, but I do think that there's a lot of interesting notes coming from some of the decks coming out in OP4.5 that have changed the market entirely, and it is extremely interesting to look at. And I just wanted to go over like just a couple of the cards that are really key notes in this, and yeah, I think it should be pretty exciting to see what happens in the future when OP4.5 fully releases and see where some of the card prices go and whatnot. But to start us off, I mean, just looking at some of the best matches here, if you just go to TCG Player and on the One Piece section, some of the best matches. I mean, Otama being at $7 that's just, I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. That card is very solid, and it's also going to be really helpful in the red-purple law list. It's yeah, that's a staple. That's not going anywhere. But the reason why it's getting so high is because of the lack of OP1 available. So I think that, you know, without a reprint of OP1 in the future, I think that we'll potentially start to see either these prices continuously going up or decks built around not having these cards in the future. Yamato and Sabo probably being two of the best SRs from the OP4. Sabo being at $6. If you don't have this card right now and you're planning on playing blue-black Sakazuki, I would highly recommend picking up Sabo. I just think this is going to be a must-have card for the mirror matchup, so a lot of the lists are going to at least be running like 2 to maybe 3 of these. And yeah, and you know what I do want to point out, and I think that is good at least, is that the starter deck 10 price is staying about the same price that the MSRP is, which is really nice because these are widely available. If you see, you know, someplace selling them for $40, you could probably find it for $30 at a Target near you. Like, I went to my local Target the other day, and there was 10 just sitting there. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I was hoping that I had, like, my fingers crossed that they had some, like, Romance Dawn sleeves, or maybe they had some starter deck 1 through 4, but those are, like, man, you gotta be lucky to find those out in the wild. We do see that Ice Age is going up 75 cents for Ice Age right now. Pretty crazy, but yeah, that's what I think. It's just a common card. It might be no, it's an uncommon. This card's going to be very helpful in the Sakazuki list, so I think that just seeing that up at 75 cents is pretty shocking to me. And brand new also going up. Market price is around $1.50, but looks like 75 cents is being sold for at the moment. But starting with Romance Dawn OP01, this is ridiculous. I mean, this is insane. And people are buying them is the craziest part. They are being bought at this price. Wow, it's so crazy. Seeing some of these prices, I guess it makes sense because of the lack of, you know, availability of this set, but it almost makes me want to sell mine, but I wouldn't, simply because I know that I have a Wave 1 box, and I think the Wave 1 box will be worth something in the future, so it's like a hold on to for investment type stuff. But wow, $540 is ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. To me personally, I really hope that we do see a reprint of Romance Dawn in the future. There's multiple ways that they can do this to where it would appease players, collectors, and scalpers. I was like, because I know those are basically your 3 individuals, and scalpers, you suck. All right, that's just the fact. But we do have like this need for more OP4.1 cards, because since there was such a low amount of them printed comparatively to other sets, that's what's driving up this price so much, because there's so many useful cards that are necessary in these, you know, OP4.5 deck lists and potentially OP4.6 deck lists, like the Yamato secret rare going up crazy in price, and we'll get to that shortly. But yeah, I think that's something that Bandai might want to tackle here, because this price is absurd. And Paramount War has started to see very similar price changes as well, which I think is mostly in tandem because of the fact that Borsalino, Kuzan, Magellan, Searcher Nami are all in this set, and all of which are going for about $30. I actually don't know what Magellan's SR is going for. I guess we'll look that up here shortly. But I do know what his all Tarts are going for. I think it's maybe about 15 bucks, but still, all of these extremely useful cards in every single deck list that's coming out in OP4.5. So just seeing this at 285 is a bit of a shock, but I guess it's warranted because of how much interest there are. And as you can see, I mean, 3 purchases just today, you know, for that price. And I can only imagine this is going to continually go up as well. Continuously go up. A small note for collectors. I heard something, yet again, don't know the absolute truth of it, but I heard something, saw it on a post on Twitter the other day, that right around here, down at the very bottom of the box, there is a, like, serial number or something like that will be there if it is not a Wave 1 edition of the box. And I checked both my OP4.1 and OP4.2 boxes, and they do not have that number. So that means that I have a Wave 1 of both OP4.1 and OP4.2. Just something to think about, something to look at. I'm not sure. I don't have like an in-person example of a box that does have that number there, but someone pointed it out on Twitter, which was pretty neat. As far as OP4.3, the price is going up a little bit. I think this is mostly because there are a lot of useful yellow cards for Enel and Katakuri in this box. Having the 8-drop Katakuri be about a $80 secret rare is very influential as to why the price of this has risen. Because I do remember, I think, you know, OP4.3 is when we started getting a lot more printing of product. And I think that really has helped keep the price of OP4.3 as well as OP4.4 at reasonable cost. But I think everyone realizing like how influential 8-cost Katakuri is in so many different lists, whether it's Queen, Katakuri, Enel, potentially even future yellow decks like the 3 Brothers Starter Deck 13 that just got announced in Japan recently. That is going to be a card that will more than likely see play in quite a lot of decks, especially with those leader abilities being related to having face-up cards. I think that Katakuri will probably have a very big point to shine in a lot of those lists. So I think that's why we're more than likely seeing a bit of an increase here. It hasn't gone up too much over, you know, the past 2 weeks per se, but I think the realization, you know, towards the end of September, you know, when it was at $80, has definitely pumped this price up quite a bit. And then Kingdoms of Intrigue is at 92. It's below MSRP. If you need to get any OP4 stuff, it's a great time. It's a great time to get your OP4 now. The price is good, and there's a lot of stock comparatively to other, you know, other sets. So there's just so much availability of this box as well as their cards. And since there are so many cards in circulation, a lot of the prices are super cheap to get many of the cards. Some of the SRs being a little more expensive, obviously Sabo being a little more expensive simply because it is a card that will be used in one of the top decks to come out in OP4.5. So that's definitely something to keep your eye out on. And if you didn't get your pre-orders in of OP4.5, don't freak out. Truly don't freak out. It's at 144 right now because people are trying to raise the price based off hype of the OP4.5 boxes. A lot of places got allocated recently, and so you go and check. Go ask your local, your local shop. Say, hey, what's up? You guys got any boxes? What are the prices and everything? And the nice thing is the vast majority of places have been selling them for MSRP now that I've seen. It looks like not too many are like going above at least the 120 price mark. Most are selling at about $105, $100, and then you might see 110 or something, but I haven't seen really anyone, at least locally here, that's selling over 120. And 120 is understandable for shops that have employees and they have to pay for the rent of their brick and mortar location and whatnot. But online prices for 144 is pretty high for something that will be very, very accessible. It's it's pretty it's pretty high. Don't get into the FOMO and buy this at such a high price. Check your local spots. See if they have some good prices. You also might be able to shop online that's not TCG and probably find some boxes at relatively decent prices. Because this does seem really, really high for right now. Just because it's going based off of the hype of it not being out yet. Now, to get into some of the starter decks, Starter Deck 4 is absurd at the moment, $88.50. The problem with this is that, yet again, print issue. This was not... They did do like a wave 2 of starter decks 1 through 4 and whatnot. Still wasn't enough. Because every player has to buy 2 in order to get a full play set, and Queen is one of the best purple cards in the game. It is a fantastic blocker. It is got a great stat line. The ability is cracked. It counters for 1k. It's one of the best purple cards in the game. And if I'm not mistaken, Queen is currently going for about close to $40 a pop. So that's why this is going for $88.50. I think it's definitely something to see it get this high. But yeah, those queens are really necessary if you want to play purple Luffy, Magellan, starter deck 10 Luffy. There's not really a replaceable card for it just yet. I hope that in the future we do see something of like what they're doing in OP6. There is a card. There's the card Gordon, right? We were going to get to this, but let's just get it out of the way now. Gordon is at $25. In OP06, there is a Gordon card that's basically an exact reprint, but it's just a different card. But they realized that the price of this promo and the availability of this card was so low, they had to get it going again. And I hope that there maybe in the future is something similar to Queen. Maybe not the same stat line, because you want your starter decks to be unique and have these cards that people will look after, or just a reprint as a whole of starter decks 1 through 4. Get more out into circulation for players that are not trying to be destroyed by some of the prices and everything. Yeah, because, I mean, the $80 for a starter deck when you have to buy 2, actually $90, I should say, excuse me, is absurd. That's absurd. It's very high. And yet again, I don't think that it's Bandai's fault that the prices are this high. It's well, I guess in a way it is, because there was a lack of appropriate product printed, but that's tough. I would love to see maybe stuff like revision packs coming back again, like we saw in OPO2, where the revision packs had cards from starter decks 1 through 4 that people weren't able to get their hands on. I think that would be really good, just taking away maybe some of the hollows, or making it very apparent that the card is a reprint. I think would do a lot of justice. But I do think that the revision packs were simply because of typo errors that they had on the cards and not because of lack of the cards per se. And I just thought that the revision packs as a whole, though, were a great way to circulate more cards into, you know, the population. And now revision packs might be something that they need to go down the road with here in the future. But yeah, Queen being at 40 is pretty high, but if you're playing purple, you might want to check it out. I thought this was really funny, and I wanted to bring it up. Charlotte Katakuri was so high in August and then took a massive dip, but then right around when we saw the ban list and the restriction list happen, right around somewhere in this point, we saw Katakuri jump up quite a bit, and now it's slowly falling down yet again, but I don't think this card is going to go anywhere. I think that the price of Katakuri is going to continue going up simply because it did just win an event in OP4.5 in, you know, the Eastern Hemisphere. And with yellow really, you know, being, as we can tell, you know, getting stronger cards and just better triggers and just absolutely broken, just absolutely insane, you know, RNG shenanigans. I don't think that Katakuri is going to be going anywhere anytime soon. A 1 Dawn investment for a 7k swing and being able to adjust your you know, life top to bottom. I think this actually might be a price that if you were looking to pick up Katakuri, you might want to consider it, because I do think that this is going to continue going up. But we'll see. It's also that it's OP4.5. You know, the price, as we've seen, of OP4.5 has continued to rise. So there might be something there. And then Borsalino and Kuzan. I brought up their Tarts first. Probably should have just brought up the regular SRs, but the Tarts are popping off, and that's because these cards are staples, absolute staples in the OP4.5 Sakazuki list. And I'm so glad I got my playset of these when they were like $30 and I was just trading for stuff back in OP2. Man, the good old Smoker days when I played Smoker as my leader. Yeah, these cards are going up. Oh, did I move the other one? Maybe I closed out of it. Oh, I think I accidentally closed out of it. Oh, no. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, both about $90. Like $96 for Borsalino, $90 for Kuzan Altart. I mean, you can see it has shot up since, you know, October. So October, it was right around here, and then they realized, oh, snap. This deck is kind of killing it in Japan. So now the price has just went crazy. I do think this is a result of multiple buyouts. I think Borsalino was heavily bought out because I do remember at one point I saw the price at like 120 or 140, something like that, which was pretty insane. But yeah, the 10-drop Kuzan has also been going up slightly. I think it's because there have been some Sakazuki lists that have been running it. There's also been some players wanting to run this card in Black Luffy and Lucci for the 4.5 meta with the current ban lists and restrictions. I don't think this card is really going to go anywhere. I think this card is definitely got a home in many future black decks. I think the only thing that's a little bit disappointing about it is it being a former Navy card. If we do see a Searcher eventually that is very similar to Ezo, that it's like if you have a card with Whitebeard Pirates in its type, then you can add it to your hand. Or so this would be like if you have Navy in its type, not Navy type card. So that could make this a really, you know, really interesting in the future. I just don't think this is going to go anywhere though. This is such a solid card, especially for a lot of the blue and black lists, you know, that we might see coming up. But just the regular SRs of Kuzan and Borsalino have just shot up. And I understand. Like, these cards are insane. And I do regret, I don't know if there's anybody that can relate to me here, but I regret that in OPO2, I had, like, probably, like, 15 of each of these. And, you know, And eventually I was just like, all right, I'll just trade them or sell them or whatever. You know, they were like $3 a pop, something like that, $3-4. I was just like, here you go. And now I'm sitting here like, oh my God, $25-30 a pop. That is crazy. Borsalino going for 30, Kuzan going for 25. I think the price difference there is because Borsalino is just really good into multiple matchups. Kuzan's not bad. It's not like it's bad into certain matchups, but it's, you know, Borsalino kind of gets you a little bit more value in a lot of the you know, potential matches that we'll be seeing in OP4.5. Kuzan, though, just being able to draw a card and being able to use the Dawn Minus, it's a card that your opponent almost always has to dedicate to removing it from the board. Feels really, really good. That's why these prices are getting very, very high. And that's why I think that Sabo at $6 will continue to rise. Okay, mark my words. I really do. I think that get your Sabos while you can. Okay. Magellan here, though. The SP is at $56. We're gonna look up. We should look up actually. Let's just look up Magellan. The regular SR. Okay, so the regular SR is about $11. Okay, so $11, $12. It does look like it dropped a little bit because it was at about 15, 16. I do think that we're going to continue to see this card rise, though. This card is going to be very popular in the purple Luffy list, and the SP from OP4 as well as the alt art are going up in price. I'm a little shocked that the alt art Magellan here is not as high as I thought it would be. $35 seems like pretty good. Seems like a pretty good buy to me for this alt art Magellan. It's a super sticky card. Your opponent doesn't really want to deal with it too much. Or they want to deal with it, but they can't really deal with it. The beauty of Sakazuki, though, is being able to bottom deck a lot of cards. Makes, you know, getting rid of this not super bad, but you do have to have those cards in hand in order for that to work. But yeah, $35 isn't too bad to be picking these up at all. And then Charlotte Katakuri, the secret rare, going for about $50. This card's going to be used in Katakuri and in Nell in OP4.5, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's a good thing that it dropped at least a little bit, like that one day, or I guess like 2 days that it was at $70 was a bit ludicrous. But being at 50 right now is... It's like you don't want to say nice, because it's not. There's nothing nice about this being at $50. But it's, yeah. Yeah, that's something. That's something. That is unfortunate for anybody trying to play. You know what, actually? Let's make this card $100. Let's gatekeep yellow. I'm joking, obviously, but like, let's gatekeep yellow. Nobody can play yellow if all the cards cost $100. And some other secret rares that were noteworthy were Shanks being at $30. $30. I think this is because of Red Purple Luffy. Red Purple Luffy brought this card kind of out of obscurity, and I think eventually there will be a list that this card will be absolutely fire. But when will we see that list? In Red Purple Luffy, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But I think there's going to be something. Once we see some Four Emperors support, red-haired pirates, stuff like that, you start to see some combos going with this card. I think it'd be really, really interesting. And also the other secret rare of OP1, Yamato, being at $40. I don't think this is a big price increase because of OP4.5. I think this is more because of people seeing OP6 and just going, whoa, yellow green Yamato is crazy. So let's pick up this, you know, this idea right here. And yeah, it's an idea. I mean, the card is going up in price super steadily. I do think that it was way undervalued at $14 personally. I think right around the $20 mark was where this card made sense for me. 40 is getting a little absurd, but it is an absolutely insane ability. I mean, double attack and banish. If your opponent can't stop it, even if they can stop it, it forces the stop, because you can't let that go through. You absolutely cannot let that go through. That is horrifying, like, to even think about. I've had a double attack banish on me before, and let me tell you that I wanted to cry. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But yeah, I know that there's a lot of exciting stuff going on with One Piece, and it's making a lot of the prices of many of the SRs from OP4.1, OP4.2, secret rares, in all sets go up in price. So these are definitely something to keep an eye on. If you're trying to get some of these cards, get them while the price is good. Some of these prices obviously aren't as great as they were. Oh, this is another thing that I did not touch on. I was actually looking for this. Hina being at $10 a pop from starter deck 6. I don't know. We'll have to look up what the price of starter deck 6 is now. But Hina at $10. Greater Eruption at $12. Right? Like almost $12 for... I mean, that is insane. The Sakazuki price is happening. All of these cards are changing. There's so much going through with everything. We're even seeing the winter Tashigis. They got bought out one day recently, and I wonder if someone bought one. I need to know. I need to know. No, they didn't. Okay, somebody bought them out one day, and they listed it for like $200, and there was somebody that bought it for $60, which is absurd. What in the world? But yeah, this card is going for about $50 right now. That is absurd. Absurd. Good Lord. Oh, God bless trying to max out your decks. I mean, I'm super glad I got these Kuzans and Borsalinos back in OP4.2 when they were dirt cheap, Oh, okay, I see. Starter deck 6 here is now going for $41. You know what's hilarious is I did so many giveaways of starter deck 6 back in the day. I did so many giveaways of this, and because I accidentally had I think 6, because I ordered 2 and then I pre-ordered 2 at a store, and then I forgot about 2 that I had I think I had bought off of a friend or something. I don't remember, but I had 6 of them, and I shipped out 4 as giveaways to people, and I hope that they're happy. If you're watching this and you won one of those giveaways, you're welcome, because that price is going up and up and up. Yeah, but lots to pay attention to, lots of exciting things to see. Starter deck 5 also staying pretty high in price. Yeah, but this is a video that I don't do very often. You guys know I do a lot of the gameplay stuff around here, but since we had Thanksgiving and there was a lot of holiday stuff going on, a lot of the shops were closed. We didn't get to play as many locals, but I am going to be playing in one tomorrow, so excited and happy and ready to just go have some fun. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts are. What do you guys think of the market? And I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.